Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of the true nation of Israel, Yasharallah. This is part 2 to my last lesson about you got to start with the foundation, your foundation first, man. Okay. And you can't be skipping steps, starting with the meat scriptures, eating steak, spiritually eating steak in this truth, man. Because you're going to throw up, because coming into this truth, once you start serving Yahweh Shemiah Shai, all right, you got to start over. All right, you have to come to the Lord as a babe, all right, as a child, and children and babies, and babes, they don't know nothing, man. So when you first come into this truth, man, like the Lord says, like the Lord said, man, he pointed at the children. Let's get that. Pointing. I just typed in, no. Slovakia. Okay, yeah, Matthew 18:3 says, and said, verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of Yahweh, of heaven. All right, Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, so you have to become a spiritually become a child, man. Okay, concerning your knowledge, concerning what you know when it comes to this Bible. Okay, so once you start serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, you have to say to yourself and think to yourself, man, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, man. You got to start, put off everything that you thought you knew was correct and start over and listen to the apostles of GMS, the men of Great Millstone, okay? And listen to them, man, all right? Because they speak the wisdom and the knowledge of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, okay? And they're going to tell you what's right and what's wrong, all right, concerning the Bible, all right? No matter what you feel, what you think is correct, all right, it doesn't matter, because what does the Lord think is correct? What does the Lord think? You may think smoking weed is is good, but is it good concerning what the Lord thinks about it? The Lord says, hey, you can't be smoking, even if it comes from the earth. He don't want you smoking. If you want the benefits of weed, hey, put it, eat it as an edible, all right, or a tea, okay? The scriptures say to, the herbs of the field, everything, all the herbs of the earth is for you to, as meat, all right, to eat it, okay? And that's just one little thing, man, concerning the Bible, all right? Hey, the scriptures say, we could have multiple wives, we could deal with multiple women. Are you going to have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with that, man? The scriptures also say, to be with one wife in these times, all right, because it's going to give you a headache. All right, Paul says, I'd rather you be like me to not have any women right now. That's roughly paraphrasing what he said, man. Because, hey, we're not in the time to be, living it up. All right, this isn't a time to be building the kingdom, not the kingdom, nation building right now, building up the community. Okay, we're in the time of serving the Lord, Yahweh Shemiah Shai, and that's it. Okay, everything else is secondary. All right. Okay, taking care of your family, do that. Take care of your family. But building a family, having multiple children here, The scriptures literally say to not have children here. All right, because they're going to be destroyed anyway. All right. You know, I mean, there's a possibility that they might. But yeah, America being destroyed by nuclear fire, hey, coming into this truth and not knowing that, hey, you might have a problem with that, man. So, hey, man, coming into this truth, you got to put off what you think is right, what you think, and put off and put on the knowledge and wisdom of the Lord, no matter how you feel about it, okay? So that's spiritually becoming a child, as children, okay? Because children, they don't know nothing compared to an adult, all right? And when you come to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai and start building your foundation, you got to have that mindset to become a spiritual child, children, man, all right? That know nothing. You got to become that child, okay? And start there. And build yourself up in the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, starting with the milk scriptures, that, the basics, It's like, what the hell? Sirach 3:19, it says, many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. All right, the humble. All right. And when you come to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you have to become humble. Humble yourself. You have to abase yourself, okay? Bring yourself low, or the Lord's going to do it for you, Verse 20, for the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. You hear that? The Lord is honored of the lowly. Seek not out things that are too hard for thee. All right? Search the things that are above. It says, neither search the things that are above thy strength. So, hey, man, start with the basics. All right? And Men of GMS, I might do it. Type in on YouTube for you and show you. All right? Back to the basic scriptures, man. Back to the basic knowledge and wisdom of the Bible. All right? Verse 22. It says, but what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, for it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Okay? So, hey, focus on the milk scriptures before you move on to the meat steak scriptures, okay? Verse 23, be not curious in unnecessary matters, all right? For more things are shewed unto thee than men understand, Because there's men that fell out of this truth because they didn't build a strong foundation. They didn't start with the milk scriptures, with the basics of the Bible, which is given to you freely by the men of GMS, okay? And I'm going to show you, man. Let's do it right now. Men have fallen out because of that, man. GMS, literally just do this. GMS, I like to do all caps. GMS, back to the basics. Back to the basics. Here's a brother right here. All right. You got to scroll down because YouTube is very censored down, man. All right. Say this is how you know we're in the famine of the word. The famine of the word is near. Because look, there should be tons and tons of videos. Here's one right here. Apostles of GMS. All right. Back to the basics. All right. All right. Here's one right here. Back to the basics. The elders themselves. Okay. And they're going to teach you and show you the basic knowledge that we must understand first in this truth. Here's some more. All right. Okay. All right. GMS Back to the Basics by Shalom Israel. All right. 777. All right. All right. All right. Here's one right here. And the brothers will show you basic knowledge of the scriptures, man, and start there. All right. coming into this truth when you first start serving Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay. Okay. You could do that. You could mess with the search bar. You could type in. You could literally type in Great Millstone, not GMS, but Great Millstone, and back to the basics. Or you could do, GMS milk scriptures. All right, and build your foundation like this, man. Okay. See, milk scriptures. All right. I'll watch that video. Milk scriptures. Okay. GMS Watchman. All right. GMS rebuke the tempter. Milk scriptures concerning the topic of reincarnation. Okay. All right. So yeah, man. That's how you build. That's how you start with your foundation, and start there first. All right. So you don't become a fallout later on, because your foundation wasn't built upon a rock, a spiritual rock. Okay. And that spiritual rock symbolizes Yahweh Shai. All right. And the Yahweh Shai commands us to start with the milk, to become as children, as newborn babes. All right. Desiring the sincere milk of the scriptures, man. All right. So I'm going to end it off right there. Hope this was edifying to the elect. Shalom.